They just drop a bunch of people off in the BC wilderness alone.
It's
Is
Alone.
it called Alone?
Yeah.
That show's fucking rad.
I saw the I watched the first season of that, and it was so
It's great.
sad, but it's good.
It's crazy.
I mean, just the mental part of that,
Yeah.
like being.
Have you heard of the
isolated.
show Alone, Evil, where they drop people off by themselves?
Fucking love that show.
That show's amazing. I just discovered it like last week, and
People from Idaho have won that show.
have they?
Really?
That doesn't
How many seasons are there?
surprise me at all. There's like
Bunch.
15.
Oh, that tracks.
Let's do this, shall we?
Let's-
Coming up on verse, chorus, verse. Let's talk about some pop and some rap and some soft core and some metal and some other stuff. That's next.
You're kind of crazy. There's kinda
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 237 of Verse, Chorus, Verse. My name is DL. I hope you're doing fantastically. With me is Rachel Rosanna Polio.
Your voice cracked. It makes you.
My voice is just a new thing now. It is what it is.
That's
if I
what
were
you
to
sound
sing
like now.
karaoke, I would have to pick something with a little bit of rasp in it.
That's
I actually
okay.
I wish I was a musician, and if I was at a point where when I got this sick, I'd be super excited to record an album because you'd have cool raspy voice.
But then you can't like recreate that. You know, you just have to.
That's not present DL's problem.
fair.
Rachel, how are you?
I'm good. Good.
Sweet. It's been a fun night, and there's more to go. Also with us is Evil, the effect of Halo's Jimmy. Evil, how are you?
I'm mildly tipsy. I started drinking before the podcast.
Nice.
And we
So
recorded
proud of
an
you.
episode already, so
Get it.
let's go.
What do you
go.
What do you got tonight? What's
I
the
got
end game?
For those of you fucking idiots who have not listened to the previous episode,
Wow, he's drunk.
Those damn idiots. No, they're idiots.
I
He's
am
much
having
nicer
another.
usually, guys.
I'm having another Buffalo Trace Old Fashioned with bourbon barrel aged maple syrup and
Yum.
my special blend of bitters, and it's delicious. And also,
No,
I
but-
love you guys. I take that back.
But what are you doing tonight?
See.
Like, what happens after the pod tonight?
But what do you mean? Like, I'm not putting my balls in it or anything like that. What do you mean?
No. I just mean, are you pre-funking for anything?
What are your plans?
Are you and the girl going out? Are you?
No, this is it.
Friday night, the mood is right.
Living the dream.
I love it.
That's fair.
This is the main event.
This is the dream.
Well,
I like that I make Rachel facepalm right there.
she did a couple times if you watched her face close enough. It was really fun. How's the jerky?
Evil's got jerky.
So good.
That's fun that he has snacks and I don't because I'm being a good kid. I saw
Well,
some
he-
Doritos and I was like, don't do it, Rach. David will get mad.
His
Don't
treat is
pick
quiet.
crunchy snacks.
Yeah, he's got a quiet treat. He's got a quiet, delicious treat.
Maybe I'll get a cupcake.
Rachel, what are you drinking? We should probably get to the rest of the most important part of the night. What are we drinking?
alcohol, my permanent.
Evil spoiled his. Well, it's all. I think we're all
Oh,
drinking. the
wait,
same
what?
thing.
Huh? I thought you asked me that.
Well, you
No,
did.
I was just asking what you're doing tonight. Like
Yeah.
what you know.
And he's
I'm
drunk.
drinking
so he
the
said.
drink of the night.
There you go. I'm still drinking beer, so we're all ruining it. And Rachel, Rachel's got something to you.
Is that a Black Butte
It's
Porter?
a Black Butte Porter.
Oh my God, I love Black Butte Porter.
Do you want some?
No, because the next
You
day
have to walk
I'm
really far.
It's going to be a good time.
It's bad.
That doesn't seem like a Rachel drink.
It's not bad.
Okay, story time. When I was a young buck in college, I drank a 6-pack of Black Butte Porter one night and went to bed. And I woke up and the smell in my bedroom was as if there was some sort of toxic waste factory.
Did you poop the bed?
That stuff, no, it just gives like the human condition some issues. That's what it
6 of them.
does.
I hope one doesn't do that. We'll find out.
Secrete grossness.
I'll follow up tomorrow.
But I fucking love Black Butte Porter. I haven't had one in a long time,
haven't
but that's
either.
a good beer.
It is a good beer.
Deschutes makes good beer.
They very much do, yeah.
I got kicked out of the Deschutes Brewery in Bend one time.
Ooh.
I love
Go
that
on.
brewery. That brewery's
Yeah.
fantastic. What'd you do?
We drank too much.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
They came over and they're like, a member of our party vomited while urinating at the urinal.
All right.
Well,
And
you're
they
at the
invited
urinal.
us to go,
Did it go in?
seek our, mostly.
I mean, I guess then you have to clean out because it
It's
doesn't
a
just go
urinal.
down.
It's not a vomital.
Yeah.
I think we had been there for many, many, many hours. And I think they were like, it's time for you
It's time for
guys
you
to
to
move on. There was like 8 or 9 of us and we were rowdy and hey, we tipped well.
I have a fun vomit story that I'm not going to share,
Yep.
but it's out there somewhere.
The vomit or the story?
The vomit was definitely cleaned up, I'm sure, because it was right in the middle of a bar. But
Which bar?
it was a local haunt in Boise, and a specific gentleman tried his best to make sure that we could never show our faces there again.
Oh.
Yeah, hey, we've all lived through I think we were in our 30s at that point.
Oh, that was just
even-
a handful of years ago.
Even more embarrassing, right? We are on our second half of the Quickfire reviews, Q1, 10 albums. That wasn't so bad, right? It was a lot of hawing.
There were some ups and downs.
Yeah.
I have some complaints. Ooh, I'm tipsy.
Yeah,
That's
you
all
It's
right.
gonna be fun.
It's allowed. It's about time. God damn it.
That's a lot of bourbon. He's already tipsy.
Last episode was a double, and I'd already had a few.
Proud of you. Very,
let's
very
go.
proud of you. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's talk about 5 more albums and then see who wins 1-0. Rachel, are you ready for this?
Yep.
Evil, are you ready for this?
I was born something.
He's
but
been
now
and
I'm
was
ready.
born. Now
You're
he's
born for
ready.
this?
We'll be right back. Hi, everybody. We're back. Just a great time to be had by all. I gotta say, let's just get to it. Let's get to our 6th album of the Quickfire. I can talk. 6th album of the Quickfire. Our first album of this episode. It is Humanhood by Z Weather Station. Rachel, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Weather Station Humanhood is the 7th studio album released on the 17th of January 2025 on Fat Possum.
Currently the album that Evil is bumping to stay hyped in his headphones.
Oh. Can you hear it?
No, I'm kidding. I guarantee you
Oh.
that he will never listen to this again, starting whenever.
Starting.
Starting yesterday.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Review time. Weather Station's Humanhood, an album for those who disassociate mid-sentence.
Yeah.
By now, I've learned that some albums require blocking out an afternoon, steeping a pot of flavorless tea, and preparing for some light emotional devastation. This is exactly that, but with a dash of jazz and existential unraveling. Listening to Humanhood feels like watching someone slowly detach from their own body while narrating it in perfect prose. It's equal parts stunning and deeply concerning, like finding a beautifully handwritten note that just says, "I have no mouth and I must scream." Sonically, Humanhood is a mix of folk, jazz, indie rock, and ambient music, which is music critic shorthand for there's no way to describe this without sounding ridiculous. Humanhood is less of an album and more of an experience, one that asks you to sit down with discomfort, beauty, and a saxophone. Is it cathartic? Sure. Will it leave you questioning your sense of self? Absolutely. But all of it is very relatable because who among us hasn't
You can get there.
gazed in our reflection and wondered if we too are decent.
There it is.
There it is.
She got there.
I got there.
I don't know what happened.
It took a second.
She got there. So the one thing that I can never tell in your reviews,
Is it good or is it bad?
did you like it or did you not like it?
It's fine. It gave me you're not gonna like this, like Jewel vibes.
Yeah,
So I wasn't
totally.
super against it. Jewel,
old
some
woman
Florence. And so it was an easy listen for me. It was fine. It was unoffensive.
Yeah. Weather Station is Tamara Lindman. It's, what did you say? It's like her 7th album or something like that.
7th.
It's very pretty. It's callback to spiritual 90s female rock. It's like the noon show at Liz Fair sort of
Sure.
act. I'm kind of pissed that Evil gets to just be like, this is not my style, this is hogwash, because that's what I want to do for this one. But yeah, this is really such self-indulgent,
Sure.
feel yourself kind of boring stuff. And while that can be okay if it's your style, it's not my style. I like when her songs start to have drive, and like you said, when she starts to add a little more jazz into it. Songs like Mirror, I do think they have a place. And I gotta say, I've been listening to a couple songs since we started recording this, and I've kind of been enjoying it in the background in my head. So I don't know. There are ongoing themes to this album that I like, but it's just so fucking one note. It's so unbelievably one note that it's really difficult. The whole world has severe attention deficit disorder now, and this album just stands no chance whatsoever in any of our brains. Evil, what do you think?
Okay, disclaimer to the hardcore fans here. I'm going into joke evil mode, and I somewhat enjoyed listening to this. Call back to last episode. What if Timu Tori Amos sat in on Matt and Shane's secret podcast episode 372 when Shane pulled out a flute and fucked, or excuse me, when Matt pulled out a flute and fucked with Shane Gillis.
Shane Gillis, I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Yes.
That's awesome. I do
feel
like
like
Rachel's face when you stopped that, pulled out a flute and fucked, and yeah.
Like, I feel like her band's fucking with her with the flute, and she doesn't know it yet.
Oh.
That tension forms the comedy that made me actually enjoy listening to this.
Yeah, I don't think, it's a middle-aged existential crisis smooth jazz album,
Sure.
Yeah.
Kinda, it is what it is. It's who was the everybody's got that one aunt that like collected rocks and was really big into fucking incense and shit. This is what that aunt listens to.
They're taking photos and finding the angel orbs in the photos.
Yeah.
And when they get a new fancy camera that the angel orbs don't show up in, it's like cursed.
They have like southwestern tribal shit all over the house, and they're completely white. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's this music. Rach, best
I approve.
best song and thumbs.
I gave it Neon Signs.
Neon Thumbs.
Neon Signs is the album or song that I chose, with a close second at Irreversible Damage. It was fun and jazzy. So
When
both
you
of those
drink
are-
Black Butte Porter, do you just get immediately hammered and you can't read anymore?
It's so good. I've never had it before. I just found it in the fridge. This is my first
Black
time.
Beet Porter's so
But I want to
good.
keep drinking it like it's water. And that's
a
not
yummy,
that's a
yummy
bad choice.
drink. Yeah.
What
It will
thumbs did you
infect
give
your
it?
guts.
I haven't
I'm
given
sorry.
it any thumbs yet. We're just
Oh,
talking
my
about
bad.
beers. I'll give it half a thumb. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I gave it no thumb. I'll give it half a thumb. What the hell? It's not bad. It's not.
Give it
it's-
half a thumb.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
We're giving sympathy thumbs. I do think
It's not sympathy.
No.
This is like,
I think it's solid work that I just was never one of those things I was never in the mood for when I kept trying to listen to it. And I do think Mirror is the best song. This is the type of stuff that I don't like bashing on this because I want to like this person. I think she's a really good artist and she's doing it. She's got, complex piano in here. So fuck, man, like more power to her over me. Evil, favorite song and thumbs?
half a thumb. Fuck you guys. I might buy this album just to spite you both. Mirror is the best song.
No, you won't.
Ooh.
I said Mirror too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the
Nice.
only
'Cause you're smart.
the only way that you would ever buy this is if Megan told you to.
I don't think she would like this.
Really?
God bless her.
Not really.
That is Weather Station and Humanhood. Good job, Tamara Lindman. We do like you. I promise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now
I was telling jokes back there, guys.
he kids.
But the flute's fucking ridiculous. I mean,
Silly.
rein that shit in a little bit, please.
Well, and it's even better when they start doing the sax work too. Then it gets really silly. But let's go on to something even more smooth jazz. March
Yes.
of the Unheard by the Halo Effect, or as I called it, I think that this is quite a bit like the first one. I think it's better than the first one. I think it's very melodic death metal, which I love. It almost feels like kind of like pop metal to me. Every single song on here, like I could put on a song right now. I'm listening to Between Directions. Fucking awesome. Guitar work is great. I love the tone. I love the melodies they're going with. I love the structure. Every single song. It's this someday somebody metal like Evil is gonna have to explain to me why it's any different than just having a singer sing the same fucking note for an entire song. The lyrics ruin it for me. I shouldn't say that. They don't ruin it for me. This is a really, really good fucking album. Every single song's structure, and even the times where they do actually sing, like in Between Directions, I fucking love it. I love that. That's the stuff that, like, when Evil talks about like riding into fucking battle on a fucking horse, like I could do that. It makes me want
Dragon.
or a dragon. Dragons aren't real, dummy. Let's let Evil talk about the Halo Effect.
Okay, I found a review pretty early on listening to this, and I'm like, I saved it because it just fits how I feel about this band and this album too.
I like it.
It is by Dakota West Foss, who is staff at Sputnik Music.
Oh, so it's
And this-
very positive then.
I mean, 3.9 is the review that I think probably out of 5.
That's like excellent, right?
It's excellent. Yep. So, review summary: melodic death metal is dead. Long live melodic death metal. It is 2025, and I'm ready to call it. Melodic death metal is the first genre in the history of music to be solved. You can gussy it up in any which way you like. Amon Amarth's drinking horns, dark tranquilities, murky synths, in flames, lack of shame, etc. But the boundaries have been pushed as far as this unholy crossroads of melody and death metal will allow without crossing the Rubicon into some other sound. This isn't a particularly new revelation to anyone who has kept up with the genre. Lord help you if you have. But it's necessary plate setting to acknowledge that the scene, whatever is left of it, is in its best spot it's been since its heyday. While I no longer expect any of the Gothenburg's finest to crank out any work that elbows out any of the albums that propped up the scene in the first place, things have settled into a spot where most albums can be reliably fun and crank out 1 or 2 tracks that manage to stand out. Most importantly, nobody, Red in Flames, is extending beyond their reach and approaching the sound as something it's not. Foregone was a pretty good album. This is like a throwback album with modern production.
How many of the In Flame members are in this band?
Everybody in this band has performed in
Okay.
In Flames.
Okay.
Everybody. The singer, Michael Stana, he was never an, in quotes, official member, but he laid down the vocals on the very first In Flames album. Everybody else has been in Flames
Gotcha.
at some point. This is basically In Flames, and they're basically writing songs from Horacle, Colony, Clayman era In Flames with modern production. I fucking love it. It's not doing anything new. It's not blazing any new trails. It's just comfort food.
They give even more classical influence than I think most bands in this genre do. Like, you should tell me if that's wrong or right, just because if you listen to songs like Coda or songs like the last one I was talking about, they do a lot of string work. They do a lot of...
Well, I mean, that's early In Flames. That
is
is
it? Okay.
Yeah, that's Jester Race, that's Horacle, that's Colony era In Flames. That's
Okay.
like, that era is classical music mixed with Iron Maiden with death metal vocals. That's
Gotcha.
what that era of music was. This just is doing that with modern production.
Okay.
And I love it. They have the formula. It is solved. The science is settled here. Let's just record. And okay, I know we only have 6 minutes, and I love this. I fucking love this album.
Rachel hasn't said a word yet.
Oh no. When this group of humans got together, they're just like friends that just when they got together to record the first album, they're like, hey, let's just get together and jam.
I do like in the interviews, they're like, we didn't have any sort of structure ready, or we didn't know what we were going to be. I think that's cool.
And then idiots like me are like, yes, more of that. They're like, oh, fuck, we should probably like focus and do something a little bit better. And that was what this album turned out to be.
Rach?
This album is rich with growling lyrics that may or may not be about personal betrayal, the collapse of civilization, or simply ordering at a restaurant where the server doesn't understand your accent. There are bright, shreddy guitar melodies that lay over a foundation of riffs so sturdy that you could build a Scandinavian retirement home on them. The instrumental interlude midway through the album feels like an unnecessary snack break in the middle of a feast and goes on long enough that I briefly forgot what album I was listening to. At 48 minutes, it could lose some of its instrumental fluff, but honestly, I've endured longer waits for my food at IKEA, so I can't complain too much. Production-wise, it's polished, but still heavy enough to make you want to throw a sword into the air. It was good. I actually really liked this one. I struggled picking a favorite song. I have a lot highlighted.
I will say, I'll say this, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again for when this death metal shit comes in an album that I actually really like, is if these guys would come out with an album that had no lyrics on it. Like if they came out with this album, took the lyrics out, it would be one of my albums of the year, possibly.
I 1,000% agree, and I'm sorry, Evil. On Cruel Perception, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I wrote down, if there wasn't the screaming and growling going on, it would be such a beautiful ballad. Like it's so pretty.
Yes. Evil.
So mad.
Evil. Unfortunately, you can only give it 2 thumbs, but the real question is, what's your favorite song on the album?
It is 2 thumbs. This is the front runner. Now, there's a lot to happen between now and the end of the year, but this is my current front runner for album of the year.
Shocked.
Of course.
My favorite song is actually 2 songs, and it's the Curse of Silence into the self-titled March of the Unheard. I think that those 2 are it's brilliant right in the middle of the album. It's amazing. I completely sympathize with both of you with the lyrical thing.
Yeah.
It took me years to cultivate the taste. I literally was like, I am going to like death metal, and I just like, it's sort of like Campari. It's like, it's fucking bitter. I hate it. I'm going to like it.
Happen,
I just have to drink until I like it. That's what I did with death metal.
Maybe
I'll
force this album on myself for the whole year, and by the end of the year, I'll be, because My favorite song is the one we were just talking about. That's the thing, is I put down Cruel Perception, but
that's an interesting pick.
But I mean, what they're doing musically that's the thing, is there are so many gorgeous parts to this album.
So we're probably way over 6 minutes.
Who
at this
cares?
point.
Points don't matter, and the referees are dead or whatever.
Here's the thing: is a little history of the band In Flames. In Flames.
Well, now wait a minute. I didn't know we were gonna.
I'll make this quick.
I'm kidding. Do it.
In Flames was formed by Jesper Stromblad. He was the drummer at the time. He moved into guitars. He is a musical genius. He has I don't know specifically what he's got going on, but he has some substance abuse issues and some anxiety disorder around large groups of people. So he doesn't speak English very well. And so he's had some ups and downs, but he is to think of Rick Rubin as a producer, his superpower isn't, he's like a great engineer and he knows how to mic. It's his taste.
He just knows what's going to be popular.
Yes. Jesper is that with melody.
Gotcha.
That he is the other official guitar player, Nicholas England, he calls him the wizard. Jesper is the wizard. He's just got whatever that is.
Yeah.
And early In Flames, it was Jesper he didn't write the shredding solo. He just had the knack for figuring out melody and where it fit just right in the song. This album, I think, features his musical genius in a lot of ways.
I gave it 1 thumb. Rach?
I love it. I'll take it.
I gave it a 1.5 thumbs, and I said Crow Perception was my
Damn,
favorite.
Gina.
Oh, God damn. Yeah.
It was really good. Like I said, struggled to pick a favorite song out of a handful that I really liked.
There's a guitar line in, is it Forever Astray?
No.
Yes, it's in Forever Astray. There's a guitar line like 2/3 of the way through. That is some of the hottest shit that I've heard in years. Oh my God.
Evil likes it. Unfortunately,
It's just,
alas, we have to move on.
My shit.
It's his shit. Let's move on to the other of, I would think he just thinks his shit. Heyo. Hurry Up Tomorrow by The Weeknd. Evil gets to start it off. Evil, how much did you like this, OMV?
I like The Weeknd in general.
Do you?
I think I like. Okay, I'll walk that back. I like Blinding Light. I like Starboy. I really like some of the songs that The Weeknd has done in the past.
Sure.
Yes, I would agree with that.
I'm like, this
However,
album is almost an hour and a half long.
It is. It is.
That is too much. That is not a weekend. That's like
I like what you did there.
not even a long weekend. That's a 80-hour work week is what this is. And it's not the good part of the weekend. It's not, I don't know.
It's like hungover
Right.
Sunday morning.
I mean, at his root, he's like Michael Jackson, R&B influenced,
Yeah.
synth influenced pop
Yeah.
music, right?
Yeah.
It should be short, to the point, catchy, hook you in out of the gate, not overindulgent,
Which that's the
almost concept album. It just is a huge mismatch for me.
I see. We've talked about this before, at least Rachel and I, in an episode once, where my opinion, and I think Rachel agreed, was that The Weeknd is the type of artist where there's this small pocket where he's going to be brilliant. Mm-hmm. But okay, his first 2 albums, Kissland and Beauty Behind the Madness, we did a quick dissection of Beauty Behind the Madness, and it sucks. It's such a bad fucking album, and it was popular because a lot of popular shit sucks. But then he did Starboy and After Hours. Those albums are fucking amazing. Like, I think those albums are amazing, fantastic. Yeah. And then he did Dawn FM, which we talked about a few years ago, which I didn't fucking like at all.
Yeah.
I tried to like it.
Yeah. And then we're here. And sorry, I didn't even have a point. I was just, I think that he's even said that, like, this whole thing he's doing, he's kind of over it. He's done. Like, he's going to move on. And Rachel, what do you think?
So that's in my review. This is the final chapter in a trilogy that began with After Hours, the reckless abandon phase, continued with Dawn FM, the I have regrets, but let's process them on the dance floor phase, and now concludes with Hurry Up Tomorrow, which is essentially The Weeknd sitting you down at 3 a.m., staring dead-eyed into the void and whispering, I think I need a change. Musically, Hurry Up Tomorrow is the stereotypical Weeknd signature blend of R&B and synth pop. Lyrically, it's a farewell letter to The Weeknd as we know him. Abel Tesfaye, the man behind the moniker, has been hinting for a while that he's been ready to kill his alter ego. If you've ever attended a dramatic brunch where someone with freshly cut bangs announces they're moving to Europe to find themselves, you already understand the energy here. Yeah. The end of this trilogy raises the question, is this truly the end of The Weeknd? Only time will tell, but we can cross our fingers.
It's the Sunday Scaries is what it is.
The Sunday Scaries.
There you go.
If I were to make a list of Weeknd songs that I liked and didn't, at this point, the list would be, there'd be so much shit that I don't like.
Yes.
Compared to shit that I like.
Yeah.
This is mostly, that's the thing is, as I listen, it's almost literally every other song that I really enjoy or I fucking hate. Like I fucking love track 1. I think it's amazing. I hate track 2. I think it's fucking terrible. Then he comes into whatever the next song is catchy. And then he does this Sao Paulo boring shit. Like, it's really boring. It's really boring. I feel like he's been trying to do this thing, this R&B Blade Runner world thing. And I think there are times where it seems like it hit and it made sense. This album isn't one of them, though. It's not.
Yeah.
For being a final push as The Weeknd, it's very, you can kind of tell that he was kind of bored with it. One of those things where it's almost like he just stopped editing himself, and people stopped editing him because they, it's the J.K. Rowling syndrome. You stop getting edited because you're too popular, and then your books are fucking 700 pages long. You can't have a fucking concept album with 50 producers. That doesn't work. You can't do that. It doesn't fucking make any sense. It doesn't work. Evil, what did you give it?
It's a thumbs down. However, this album, okay, I listened to a couple of reviews by the Needle Drop for this group of albums.
Ew.
And this was one of them. And he just fucking gushed over it.
Of course he did.
I'm gonna give The Weeknd some credit here because I finally realized why I fucking hate that YouTuber. And it's because all of his reviews sound like Patrick Bateman talking about Huey Lewis.
That's awesome.
That's exactly what he is.
That's
he's like
awesome.
He's Patrick Bateman fucking talking about Huey Lewis.
That's
That is the
fantastic.
Needle Drop. Sorry, Needle Drop fans. That is the truth.
I don't think anybody likes him anymore, so it doesn't matter.
I couldn't find a favorite song. It's just so much. There's like an hour and a half of shit to listen to. There's probably something in there that I would really like. I don't care to go and wade through it to find it. It's too much. Curate your shit, man. You're The Weeknd.
There it is.
You're The Weeknd. Did you give it no thumbs?
One down.
One
down. Yeah.
Rach?
I gave it 0.25. Because I believe he is talented.
Yes.
But it's not curated. It's just it's not 0.5. 0.25. 0.25. 0.25. And I said the first song, Wake Me Up, was my favorite. I actually don't hate this. Might have been just because I got bored halfway through and stopped really paying attention. So there might be something at the end that's better. Who knows?
I gave it no thumbs, but I will say that, so my favorite song, I agree with Rachel, is Wake Me Up. And I think that song is fantastic. I love that song. It is one of my, if I had a playlist of hanging out on a summer day, The Weeknd could have like 4 or 5 songs on there, and that would be one of them. It's fucking rad. It's this like thriller-ish sort of.
That's what I wrote.
Yeah.
Is that it sounded like there was a Thriller sample.
Very, very much so. It's like cool Vangelis thriller shit. I love that song. I thought it was great. But yeah, I can throw the rest of the album in the garbage. And with that, we will go to Missionary by Snoop D-O Double G. Rachel.
This is Snoop's 20th album,
Jesus
released
Christ.
on the 13th of December 2024 by Death Row, Aftermath, and Interscope. Produced by Dre. The first thing you should know about Missionary is that it was produced by Dr. Dre, which means it could be an album of Snoop Dogg reading his grocery list and somehow it will still slap. The album's sound takes us back to Snoop's early Death Row days. There's a lot of nostalgia here, so much that they even managed to dig up Tom Petty for a vocal sample, which raises several questions I'm afraid to ask. Critics have been kind, with some calling the album a return to form, and others using words like mature and elevated, which really is just a nice way of saying he's finally rapping about something other than getting high and committing felonies. In the end, Missionary is exactly what you would expect from late career Snoop Dogg album. Smooth, nostalgic, and ridiculous at times. You will not learn anything new about Snoop, but you will bob your head and you can use the time to practice rolling blunts.
Love it. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So what, did you like it?
No, I did not. I listened to this right as it came out. When you sent the list of albums, I was like, I'm like a quarter of the way done listening to this list already. Because
Yeah, but certain things you were saying made me think that you liked it.
I did, in the way that it was nostalgic.
Yeah.
However, it wasn't different enough. There wasn't enough growth, and it wasn't enough like the old stuff for me to like it, if that makes sense.
Totally does.
Yeah.
You guys ready for my DL's giant hot take of the episode?
Yeah.
There's something else. There's a continuation to this sentence, but I have never been a Snoop Dogg fan. I don't really like him. I think he's boring. Now, I think that Snoop does one certain thing and is one certain character better than anybody ever.
Sure.
And I loved his place in the 90s rap genre. I loved him as a verse guy with Dr. Dre. And I loved songs like Gin and Juice, like, of course. Like, that's there was something that felt very authentic about him that I love. Even more authentic than, somebody like a Tupac or something like that. That he knew who he was and he's never tried to be anything else. I love that.
Right.
But you can't put me in front of a Snoop Dogg album and I'm not going to listen to it and enjoy it. He's not my type of rap. He's too calm. It's almost too flow. I like terseness. I like a loud, pissed off Eminem, Ice Cube, DMX type. I don't want the smooth flow sort of thing. And that's what this is. And that's not even saying that the other thing that drives me really fucking nuts that hip hop has really started to do a lot the last couple of years is take already really good beats and fuck them up. What they do with the Last Dance of Mary Jane song or
Hate it.
what they do with the fucking MIA song, that is already one of the coolest fucking beats you're ever going to do. And they fuck it up. They completely fuck it up. I hate that. I did not like this album fucking at all. Evil. What about you?
Okay. This is the old man yells at clouds moment. Before I start, I have to give this a thumbs up. I am like a captive in my own home. We are a Snoop Dogg home.
Blink twice if you would really give this a thumbs up, Evil.
This is getting a thumbs up. I, in quotes, liked it. Okay. I want my rock stars to be young, dangerous men who I'm afraid are going to try to fuck my girlfriend.
Good for you.
I want young female pop stars to be hot fembots. I want my rappers to be dangerous and to be fearful of my life when I listen to them. This is none of that.
It's none of that.
That's fair.
Old rich rappers don't do it for me. They are not singing the music or rapping the music that I think that they should be. It's overproduced. It's
overproduced.
It's fucking Snoop is on the goddamn Olympics, for fuck's sake.
And that's where he should be. He shouldn't even be making albums anymore. He should just be doing the fucking hilarious Olympics.
So this is like I mentioned in the last episode, Franz Ferdinand. That album sounded old and reserved and quirky. I want them to be like young, angry, sweaty, drunk rock stars in a like shitty dive bar, like trying to make it.
Yeah.
Like I want my Snoop to be someone who I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
Who is out pimping,
wearing
and singing
fucking,
about it. He's not doing any. He's fucking doing shit.
Gang colors and fucking
right.
Yeah.
No, I don't want Martha Stewart era
Martha Stewart Snoop
music or Rich Dre produced era music.
Yeah.
This is my okay.
I want my Snoop Dogg pre Little Blue Pill.
Here's my hot take. You guys are gonna hate this. I think this is why I don't like Kendrick. I don't feel like Kendrick is dangerous. He's a beautiful lyricist. He writes really, really poignant lyrics, but I fear him not. He is not a dangerous human being to me. He is not Compton thug life rap to me. He's doing something completely different than that. And that's probably why I don't like, or I don't
see. I think Kendrick
elevate him like you guys do.
That's fair, but I think Kendrick reminds me of like, well, no, not.
He's 5'2" and he has like the voice of a goddamn Keebler elf.
He's from
like,
Compton and he has game. Like Snoop Dogg was 112 pounds soaking wet, but I guarantee you he knew dudes that would fucking kill you in a second. Like that's
I
what
think Snoop would have killed you in a second back in the day. I don't know if Kendrick.
in that way, Kendrick reminds me of a young Snoop because he's not his
Today?
music- yeah. His I don't know. Fuck if I none of us know. Who the fuck knows? We live in Idaho and fucking Washington. Where were we? Rach? What's your
Kendrick Lamar's 5'5".
what's your favorite song and give us a couple
Soaking
songs.
Wet.
Yeah.
5'5" soaking
joke.
wet. Is that what you said?
I like it.
I believe that. I said gorgeous.
Is he
I
really
liked-
5'5"?
He's 5'5".
Fuck, that is tiny.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is half an inch taller than me.
Wow.
That's fine.
It's fine.
5'5".
Thumbs, Rach?
Yeah, I gave it a thumb.
Did you?
Because I love Snoop.
Okay.
It wasn't. I won't listen to it again. I mean, I've listened to it twice now. I mean,
Yeah, I gave it
Yeah.
2 thumbs down. I really, really, really did not like it. I think they
okay.
fucking not only do I not like it, but they obliterated many like Sting, MIA, Last
that's
Dance with
true.
Mary Jane. They just obliterate multiple amazing songs to make this album.
that's right.
I'm very much 2 thumbs downing it. Evil, what were you forced to give it?
I have to give this a thumbs up. I have to do that. Okay, I do have an argument for Last Dance with Mary Jane.
There's no argument.
Yes, there is. It's Mary Jane is marijuana. It's like that's
Sure.
Snoop Dogg
Yeah.
should be allowed to touch anything that's marijuana. I can see that argument. I can also, I'm not arguing the Sting thing either. Sting put his name behind. Sting is on it. Like Sting okayed it.
But
he
he's
was on it.
alive.
No, I know, but that doesn't make it any fucking better. Like
That's true.
they're not fucking with the art. I knew Sting was a piece of shit idiot a long time ago. They're fucking with I don't care that they're fucking with the artist. They're fucking with the songs that I love.
Sure.
That's where I'm at with that. God damn it, Snoop. Why can't you just be likable still? Let's go to the
likable.
final album of the night. It's I've Tried Everything, Part 2.
Oh, I love it.
By Teddy Swims, who is capitalizing on his popularity, coming out with something as soon as he fucking can, and more power to him for doing it. This is a good album. It's fine. I think this is Muzak just as much as a couple of the other things we've talked about. The only difference is the guy has a phenomenal voice. But man, when he's doing like the slow songs are so got the same shit that Boys to Men did 100 times, or he'll do songs that I just would rather hear fucking like Al Green do. And that's when it kind of turns into this more boring CeeLo Green thing for me. But it's the new pop R&B. He's one of the current great voices. He has a fantastic voice. I saw him live. It was kind of a boring show, but he was phenomenal.
When did you see him live?
They opened for crazy, shitty guitar, great voice guys. Young
Greta.
He opened for Greta
That's
Van
an
Fleet.
amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. All these songs have been written so many times before. And that's
Sure.
that's a cop out when you're talking about R&B, because it's really, R&B is R&B. There's only so many ways you can do it. This is just like the new adult contemporary. And so I refuse to like it because it means that I'm old. That's kind of where I'm at with this. I'm not going to deny that it's good. It is. But it's like I've said a lot tonight. It's really fucking safe. And there's no I lose control part on this where you hear him and you're just like, holy fuck. There's nothing like that on this album. Evil, what'd you think?
Teddy doesn't swim, he sings.
That's true.
Number one. This is probably the one album in the group of 10 that I'll be able to listen to with my lady.
That's why I thought that this might get a higher rating, because I thought that I could see you and your girl listening to this crap.
I'm on the edge on whether or not I would actually buy this.
Have you heard the album before this?
Some of it, not the entire
Buy that
thing.
instead.
Yeah.
That's a good.
I mean, he's talented. He has a great
Very.
voice,
Great.
but it's like, what else am I getting?
Yep.
I would rather listen to Eddie 9 Volt,
Yeah.
which is
Or buy a fucking Otis Redding album instead and listen to that.
Yes. Yeah. If I want like modern R&B, this is probably not the first thing I would go after. I enjoy listening. It is really easy to just to throw on and have in the background listening to. I don't hate it.
Agreed.
But I also don't feel like I'm getting a lot out of it.
Well put. Rach?
Yeah.
Side point before I get to review time. It seems like he's capitalizing. His last album actually came out in September of 23. So he just got popular last year with the whole Lose Control thing.
Okay.
So he's not putting them out like
pumping it.
Real quick.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Review time. Instead of shelling out for a licensed professional, Swims opted to process his feelings through his album, I've Tried Everything But Therapy Part 2.
Yeah, why won't you try therapy?
Which honestly is an approach that I respect. Therapy is expensive, and this way he gets royalties. The album jumps from genre to genre like a man desperately searching for the right radio station on a road trip. There's R&B, pop, country, soul, and at one point I was fully expecting a Gregorian chant to make an appearance, but alas, I will have to find and dust off my copy of the 1997 classic Pure Moods.
I would have liked it more.
This is what happens when an artist is too musically talented. It's like someone who is good at baking and woodworking, and suddenly they're trying to make a sourdough starter in a hand-carved cedar bowl. Impressive, sure. Necessary, debatable. As with part 1 of this series, there's something about the way Swim sings, like a man who has lived, loved, and seen some shit. Overall, this album is a big, emotional, genre-hopping hug for anyone who's ever tried healing through music, or failing that, tried crying in the shower while screaming soulfully into a bottle of herbal essences.
Good old herbal essences.
I think that what saves this album is his voice. I think it's very bland.
I agree. I very much agree. It's just so safe. It's so fucking unmemorable for me.
Yeah.
I don't have.
And it doesn't have a banger like the last one.
No.
There's not.
Okay.
It's not.
This problem I have with modern guitar players is they have access to many years of YouTube instructionals to where they can play their favorite artist licks exactly like how
Sure.
they can rewind, play. I mean, they just have so many resources at their disposal that they're able to become extremely virtuosic at their instrument.
Yeah.
But they're not saying a goddamn
They're not
thing.
original. No.
Yeah.
I feel like his voice
none
is
of what
amazing.
they're doing is their own thing.
Yeah, Teddy Swims is kind of like the vocal version of that for me. He is his singing is amazing.
Yeah.
And even sounds soulful, but I'm like, is he saying anything?
Yeah.
Is there anything that differentiates him from someone else?
No, I think that's well put.
That's fair.
I put the best song on it is Black and White. I think that there's a lot of good on here, but I gave it no thumbs because I just don't. It's like I said, none of it's memorable for me at all. Evil, what'd you think?
It's 0.5 up. It was generally positive.
Yeah,
Bad Dreams seemed listenable.
it was listenable. Rach,
I give it a thumb up because
you're in the nice one of the group.
he's vocally insanely talented, and that's, like I said, what kind of saves the album. Best song, I said Guilty, although I really don't think that there's a standout
No.
on this album.
Nah. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is all 10 albums. Evil guessed that my favorite was Mogwai and that Rachel's was K-pop zone Rosanna Dana Rose was Evil right on yours, Rachel.
Yes, he was.
That was your favorite album out of the 10.
That might be a first.
That is the album out of this mix that I will absolutely play and play and play
What
and
the
play.
fuck is happening?
She's a Blackpink
right now?
fan.
That
I'm a
doesn't.
Blackpink fan.
This wasn't even Blackpink. This wasn't even like.
It
doesn't
wasn't. It's
matter.
very different.
I think that's the first time I've ever picked your favorite album.
Yeah, you usually suck.
Well, Evil.
But this one, to be fair, you usually go for the obvious one, and it's usually not the obvious one.
True.
What the fuck? Evil, you went 2 for 2 because Mogwai was my favorite as well.
I mean, you guys are gonna get mine both.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right, of course.
It was
obvious.
very, 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 very close between
Yeah.
Mogwai and Franz Ferdinand for me, but I did go with Mogwai just because it's,
Shouldn't have changed
I'll be
my
a little
answer.
little more impressed. As far as best and worst, as the worst album getting a negative 1.5 score was Cowards by Squid.
What?
A lot of negatives on that
Interesting.
bad boy. Followed closely by Rosie and then The Weeknd. But number 1, ladies and gentlemen, was a tie. Was a tie between 2 of our favorites, Mogwai and The Halo Effect, both getting
Not surprised.
4.5 thumbs.
Yes.
Evil feels good.
Thank you guys.
Rach, we're gonna have to have a conversation about this thing.
Here's the
I
thing.
don't understand.
Here's where you like me again. My favorite was Rosie. I think the best was Halo Effect.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
She's trying to get on my good side.
She is.
I don't have to. You're drunk.
Ladies
You like everyone right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is our first Quickfire of the year. Hope you enjoyed it.
Woo.
Hope you loved it more than anything else in the world. Hope you liked the albums more than we did. But this always happens.
Yes.
Give us till Q3 and we're going to have some bangers for you. I'm telling you. Join us next week. Good old-fashioned motherfucking album exchange between DL and our good friend Evil. Do we tell them the albums that we did?
We should. I think that those 2 albums.
Rachel, I have a question. Do you believe in a thing
Yeah.
called love? There you go. I gave Evil The Darkness because
Darkness.
Mr. Hawkins writes again. And Evil, what did you give me?
I gave you an album by a little band called Porcupine Tree.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about Muzak in this episode
And the sound of it.
and the sound of
Yeah.
it. Porcupine Tree liked to talk about that as well. Ladies and gentlemen, join us next week for that. It's going to end the week after. It's going to be really very fun. I have a lot to say about both of those albums.
Oh my God, so do I.
Hey, Rach,
Hey,
congratulations getting to listen to Roseanne. And I don't get it, but it's okay. We don't all have to get everything.
yeah.
Love you, though.
Aw.
Aw,
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Evil, go listen to some Halo Effect. On vinyl, if you please.
Oh, I will. It's right there.
What are you allowed to listen to, like metal vinyl when your family's home, or do you get yelled at?
No. Not even. Hilarious. Hilarious. No.
Yeah, it's like me with
is it.
hip hop. It just doesn't get to happen until the kids are out.
No, I can't listen to
never out.
most of my albums.
Yep, simpatico, my brother, simpatico.
But you know what? I will say this. Megan's a huge fan of old blues. That is like
Yeah,
our,
you can't go wrong
That's
there.
good.
No, so we have our collection of like Muddy Waters and all of the old stuff.
Little Bo
is-
Diddley,
Yes, some Bo Diddley. A little
Yeah.
bit of Bo Diddley.
damn straight.
Some BB King. That I can't fault her because she does like the old blues.
God bless her. Everybody,
Good lady.
we love you. Good night and good luck.